Hey, Jim Wolf here with dating advice for men who love women. So most women, even the sweetest, nicest women, will usually test you at some point if you're dating her, or even if she just thinks there's a chance that she might date you, whether she does it consciously or subconsciously. And that can be confusing for men if they're even aware of it, because men don't tend to test women the same way. And her tests can come at any time during the beginning stages of dating, which is the first 2 to 3 months or so that you're going out with her. And the great thing is, if you handle her tests properly, they're actually huge opportunities to increase her attraction for you and or strengthen your relationship with her. And when a woman tests you, it does not mean that she's not interested in you. When a woman tests you, it doesn't mean that she's not interested in you, or that she's playing games, or that she's not a, quote, good woman. The thing is, a woman has to test you to make absolutely sure you're really the right guy for her. So when a woman tests you, that is a very strong indicator of interest in you, because she doesn't need to test you if she's not interested in you. So when she tests you, take it as a compliment. That's the first thing. Now, there are many ways that women can test you, and women tend to be very good at testing men. So in this presentation, we will cover 4 of the most common tests a woman might throw at you and how to handle them like a champion. And the first test that a woman might throw your way is a direct verbal challenge. A direct verbal challenge. So this is where she might tease you or say something negative to you or kind of put you down a little bit just to see how you're going to react to that. And again, it could be a subconscious thing. She's not necessarily aware that she's testing you, but when she gives you a direct verbal challenge, that's probably the most common test that you will see right away when you introduce yourself to a woman and you're having your first conversation with her or during your first few dates with her. And so when she challenges you verbally, there are 3 ways that you can handle it. And the great thing is all 3 of them are equally effective, so you can choose the one that feels best to you. So the first way that you can handle a direct verbal challenge from a woman is to agree with what she's saying and then exaggerate it. For example, if she says, "Oh, you're such a player," you could say, "I know, totally. You should see me at bingo night. The old ladies can't get enough of me." Or something really silly like that. So you want to, instead of resisting what she's saying to you, even though it sounds kind of negative, you want to accept what she's saying. Yeah, totally. And then you want to exaggerate it to make it sound really silly. Like, yeah, I clean up with the old ladies at the nursing home, for example. So the first way that you can handle a direct verbal challenge is just to agree with what she says and then exaggerate it and make it ridiculous. And that works really well. And then the second thing that you can do is just ignore what she said completely, like she never even said anything. And that can work just as well. For example, if she says something like, "Why are you so lame?" You can just not respond at all, maybe put kind of a winning grin on your face, like your subconscious kind of heard it, but you're not responding to it, you think she's funny, etc. And then just move the conversation forward as if she never said that comment at all. That's one of my favorite ones, and it works really well. So the second way that you can handle a direct verbal challenge from a woman is just to simply ignore what she said, like she never even said anything at all, and move the conversation forward. And when you do that, she will understand that her comment didn't affect you, which is how you pass the test. And then the third way that you can handle a direct verbal challenge from a woman is to interpret it as a huge compliment. So whatever she says, no matter how negative it sounds, just interpret it as if she's complimenting you and then respond to that instead of what she actually said. So for example, if she says, "You're such an asshole," you can respond by saying, "Aw, you're such a sweetheart." Or, "Have I told you lately how nice you are? You're so sweet." Something like that. So the third way that you can handle a direct verbal challenge is to respond as if she just gave you a huge compliment. And that's really funny, and it works really well as well. And that's what being disarming means. You've probably heard the word disarming before, and you've probably heard it when women refer to an attractive guy. And that's because it is really attractive. And what being disarming means is when she's giving you a hard time, you handle it well, and you realize that it is a compliment and that she's just testing you, and you easily turn that situation into an extreme positive for both of you. So this is what being disarming means, and now you have that quality. And then the second kind of test that a woman can throw your way is called a jealousy test. A jealousy test. Jealousy is an extremely unattractive trait in males, and it can also be dangerous to her. So she might test to see if you're jealous. Again, it might not be a conscious thing, it might be a subconscious thing, but she might throw one of these tests your way to see how you handle it in the beginning stages of dating her. And there's two ways that they tend to do this. And the first one is just in your first conversation with her, or maybe your first or second date with her. She might bring up her exes and talk about how awesome they were. Like she might say, oh yeah, when I was dating the starting quarterback at USC. Or yeah, when my ex-boyfriend was taking me out in his Ferrari, or something like that. So she will verbally talk about one of her exes and make him sound really cool, to see if you will react and get jealous to that, and to see how you handle that from her. Because if she's good looking, she's going to continue to get a lot of attention from men, and she needs to know how you're going to handle that. So she might bring it up verbally in your conversation. And again, now that you're aware of it, you'll interpret it as a test instead of her doing something negative. So you'll know why it's happening, which is good. And then the second kind of jealousy test she might throw at you is, let's say you're at a bar or you're at a party or something like that. Well, she might casually just talk to some other guys for a minute, just to see if you're going to react negatively to that or not. Okay, and the way that you handle either one of these jealousy tests is to not react. Do not react negatively to a jealousy test. Show her that you don't have this quality, and she will be much more attracted to you. So from now on, when you're dating a woman, all other men in the world, including any of her exes, are just like her brother or her cousin to you. All of the other men in the world besides you are just like her cousin or her brother, and that's how you're going to respond when she talks to them or when she brings them up in conversation. Now, if she actually does something to you, like let's say you're officially together with her and then she cheats on you, obviously at that point, you break up with her and you move on to a new woman. But if you're still in the beginning stages of dating and she's just testing you by talking to other guys for a second or bringing up her really cool exes in your conversation, you're not going to react to that. You're not going to get jealous. You're going to show her that you have internal strength, and she's going to be more attracted to you for it. So don't react. And then if you're in that party situation and she happens to be talking to some guy, go talk to another woman. And then a little bit later, when she comes back to you and says, hey, that was my cousin from Atlanta. I haven't seen him for 3 years or something like that. And you know what? You're the first guy who didn't get jealous when I was just talking to someone else. And I really, really appreciate that. And then she might say, and hey, who was that girl you were talking to, by the way? Okay, so that's what we want to happen at the end of the situation, not some kind of fight or a blow up that's negative. And then if she brings up one of her exes in conversation, your default response should be, he must have been a cool guy if he was with you. He must have had something going for him if you were dating him. Okay, so that's how you handle the jealousy test. And then the third kind of test that a woman might throw your way is called the favors test. And so when you first meet a woman, she might ask you for a small favor, like to hold her purse while she goes to the bathroom or something like that. And if she asks for a small favor, then get something from her before you do it for her. So if she says, hey, can you hold my purse while I go to the restroom? Say, yeah, if you can get me a drink on your way back. Something like that. So you don't have to ask her for a big favor. Just ask her for a small favor before you agree. Don't be so easy. You can even just make sure that she says please. So you can just say, hey, what do you say if she didn't say please? And then once she says please, then you can say, okay, but only because you said please. And if she already says please when she first asks you, you can say, yeah, sure, but only because you said please. So just don't be so easy when she asks for a small favor and you're going to pass that test. And of course, you can watch her purse for her while she goes to the restroom. It's not a big deal. Just make sure you make her say please or ask her for something small in return for that favor, and don't be so easy. And then in the beginning stages of dating, before you are her official boyfriend, she might ask you for a big favor. Some women test men this way, and some of them do it consciously. However, again, a lot of women are doing it unconsciously, or they don't even know that it's a test, and then the way that you react turns out the same way as if they were just testing you consciously. So when she asks you for a big favor in the beginning stages of dating, before you're her official boyfriend, politely decline her offer. Politely decline. She has friends and other guys who are orbiting her that can easily help her. She doesn't need you to, quote, save her, okay, especially if you want to date her. And doing big favors for a woman doesn't make her more attracted to you, because we like people who we do things for, not people who do things for us. So if she's doing things for you, she's going to be more attracted to you. And if you're doing things for her, you're going to be more attracted to her. Okay, so this sounds kind of like playing games, but it's not. It's just a matter of how our human brains process the perceived value of other people. So if she asks you for something really big in the beginning stages of dating, like, hey, I'm moving to a new apartment across town this weekend, can you come help me move? And you've only been on 2 dates with her, politely decline and let her other friends in her life help her out. Or the other guys who want to date her but are always going to be in the friend zone because they're doing too much for her too soon. Because relationships are based on respect. She cannot be attracted to you and fall in love with you if she doesn't respect you. And if you do a huge favor for her, like wax her car after your first date or something like that, she's going to lose respect for you, and therefore she's going to lose attraction for you as well. Now, once she's your official girlfriend, then you can do big favors for her. So once she's your official girlfriend, you've been dating her for 3 months, and then she says, hey, I'm moving across town to a new apartment, that's when you can help her move. That's when you can do a big favor for her. But before that, politely decline, and that's how you pass the favors test. And then the last test that we're going to talk about today that a woman might throw at you is called the flake test. And the flake test is where she agrees to go out with you, and then 30 minutes before she's supposed to meet up with you, she sends you a text saying that she can't make it tonight. Or she just doesn't show up. Or she texts you or calls you and said, hey, something else came up. Now, there are only 3 possible reasons why she cancels on you at the last minute. Number 1, she's just not interested in you and she wasn't able to say no to your initial date invitation. So that's a strong possibility. And then number 2, she could be testing you, again, consciously or subconsciously, to try to see how you'll react. And then number 3, some kind of emergency actually did come up. And that's the rarest one of the reasons, but it could happen about 5% of the time. And the best part is that you do the exact same thing, whether she's just not interested in you, whether an emergency actually came up, or if she's just testing you. So you always respond the exact same way. And you respond by not reacting or being negative or getting mad. And at least don't show that to her if you are angry. And what you want to do is just be cool about it and then let her re-engage you later. So you don't want to text her again after that. You don't want to ask her out again after that until she texts you, until she re-engages you in that communication stream. Okay, so your initial reaction is just to be cool with it, and then wait and see if maybe she re-engages you 2 or 3 or 4 days later by texting you and saying, hey, how are you? Okay, and then once she re-engages you, then you can proceed normally from there. But otherwise, you're not going to text her again. You're not going to ask her out again. And that's how you pass this test. And if you want to, you can also indirectly imply that it's a good thing that she can't meet up with you because another woman invited you to hang out or is coming to see you. So you could say, for example, something like, hey, no problem. A friend offered to make me dinner tonight, so I'll head there now, smiley face. Talk to you later. That's one example of a text you could send back. Or you could say something like, okay, cool. A friend's coming over to watch Moana with me later, so another time's actually better for me as well. So you don't want to say that you're going to spend time with another woman or that you're going on a date. You want to indirectly imply it by saying, hey, that's cool. I'm actually meeting up with a friend a little bit later to do X activity that she will assume or at least think it's possible that you're doing something with another woman. And that's kind of an advanced tactic, so you don't have to use it if you don't want to, but it can be very effective as well. But if you just don't react negatively and then you don't chase her by continuing to text her and asking her out again after she flakes on you, that's how you pass this test, because you either stop wasting time with a woman who's not interested in you, or if she is interested in you, you pass her test with flying colors and increase her attraction for you. And then when she re-engages you and you ask her out again, she'll be more interested in you than before. And that's exactly what we want. Because when a woman tests you and you pass her tests, it increases her attraction and her interest in you a lot. And now you know 4 of the most common tests a woman can throw your way and how to handle them like a pro. And as a thank you for checking out this presentation today, we have some free gifts for you. We have some advanced free training for you, and you can get it by going to datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com. That's datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com. So go grab that now. And if you're really ambitious, go grab your copy of the best-selling Attract and Keep Her system right now. Inside the Attract and Keep Her system, you'll discover how to attract a devoted girlfriend or wife and how to keep her in love so you don't have to worry about getting dumped or divorced ever again. And you'll also learn how to build an awesome, fulfilling relationship with her that keeps both of you happy. So I encourage you to end your pain and confusion about women forever. Go grab your copy of Attract and Keep Her right now. Just go to attractandkeepher.com/system. That's attractandkeepher.com/system. I'm Jim Wolf with Dating Advice for Men Who Love Women, and I'll talk to you later. Cheers.